Howdy. Just wanted to record a quick video showing off one or two things. So the first thing is that progress is going along quite swimmingly for the first of the insane bosses, Sweet Tooth the Insatiable. And I'm wearing netherite armor. It is quite damaged because I was getting my ass whooped earlier. But let's just go ahead and summon in the boss. Something to note real quick is watch the color of the particles as I summon the boss, because the particle color will actually change to indicate this is an insane boss. Yeah, it'll change to the crimson spores instead. Apart from that, visuals of this half is almost the same. The first thing you might notice is the animated name. I'll explain how I did that later, but the dialogue is almost the same, and there's now a metabolism as well. There's a mechanic of the boss that every so often will freeze, but the rate of firing out the projectiles will increase by a lot. Also, it looks like he's getting damaged here, but all of his armor has very high blast protection, so he's taking. I don't think he's taking any damage from it. But either way, I'm going to try to fight him. Try and possibly fail, because he's really tough now. Mainly because these jokesters. Oh my god. We're just getting comboed. Okay, thank god. He's standing still. Now's my chance to heal. Come here. I got an axe. That is something else that is very cool. Run. Okay. Yep, that's about what I expected. He's tough. He's very, very tough. Those little gingerbread men could be a real problem, too. Usually a good idea to just not approach him during that. But there we go. Damn, that is much louder than I expected it to be. I might have to turn that volume down. Let's hop back over to the creative mode, because there's actually 2 new drops from these bosses. Obviously there's the 3 from before, the Candied Hearts, the Chef's Apron, the Sugar Bone. But there's one unique drop, and more insane membranes. Because I figured making an only drop from Umami is kind of a bad idea. So I'm going to make it at least somewhat sustainable, that if you kill insane bosses, you get membranes back. But the sugar cookie is quite cool. This is one of the cooler things that I've created. I have a command set here that constantly sets the value of the snow golem to max, because otherwise they would die, because this is technically a desert biome. I think if I do F3, yeah, the biome is a desert, so if I were to construct a snow golem, it would not go well. But on the subject, let's make one real quick. And I can enchant it. I didn't know about this before, but apparently you can cycle the speed that the dust transitions at, so it looks really cool. Let's get a zombie. So you might wonder what that even did. Well, he's now a ballista. He will now fire sugar bombs, which is great. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Though, he's not the best at his job. Let me kind of, cage him in. Oh god, it's like the... Have you ever seen that game theory problem of, the devil and the angels? This reminds me of. You gotta be fast. Alright. So now he's in an enclosed space. What do you suppose happens if I spawn in a zombie? It doesn't go over well for him. Usually I like to leave the stuff around, but for this I'm probably just going to delete it because it looks terrible. And it also, you might notice, I think I mentioned this in the Umami video, I flattened a lot of the land because some of the bosses have a tendency to get stuck in pits. And I'm eventually going to implement a workaround for that, but for the time being, I need to test it on flat land. Because I was originally going to make it so that the boss would start to levitate if the nearest player was above them. But as it turns out, mobs can't actually move around while they're levitating for some reason. Their AI completely breaks. So I'm going to have to find another way through that. Maybe like give them slight motion in the direction of the player or something. I don't know. Regardless, let me take a moment to to sort of demonstrate how this effect works, specifically with the name. So, I previously had implemented dialogue, and how the dialogue works is there's some list with, I don't know, some amount of values, and it'll cycle through every single frame. So list 1 becomes list 2, 2 becomes 3, etc. And then 10 becomes 1. Let me add that as well. List 10 equals list 1. This uses a very similar mechanism. So what it does is there's a list of basically JSON text. So it'd be something like, I don't know, text, hello. And then I'll just like copy paste that because I don't want to write that all out again. Hello, and then and then hi, and then like a dot dot dot. I'm kind of surprised that the armor stands and signs render that properly, because that is the exact syntax that I'm using for when putting them onto the sign in the first place. But what this does is it'll do that exact same motion and iterate through every single one of these and set its value to be equal to the boss. So I don't know how much this is going to mess things up, but it's worth a shot. Let me spawn in an armor stand and do execute as at eType equals armor stand, distance equals 3, at srun, get a little bit closer. Data modify entity at s. What would this be? Oh, no, this would be tag. I'm goofing. It'd be boss sweet tooth 2. Brace yourself. I don't know how this is going to work. Oh crap. Oh my god, that works perfectly. Fantastic. I was expecting that to start hucking sugar bombs everywhere, but I guess it's just because it's not a zombie? I honestly couldn't tell you. But let me get rid of the scoreboard so that we have a cleaner view of this without me having to do F1. So, what's happening here is that every single one of these iterations as a different frame of animation. And what it's doing is every time the internal cooldown is equal to 10, it will shift everything down. And it'll get the first value and output that. So you end up with this nice little looping animation. And let me just say, that one right there, where it interlocks the animation, was a massive pain to make working. That doesn't English. It was a massive pain to make it work. Because every single time you want to shift colors, maybe like add or remove a bold or italic, you have to make a new text object within the JSON, or within the JSON text. And that is very time consuming. but it looks awesome, so I'm fine with it. And last thing I want to show off is I now have a button to unetch sketches, and it's really just a command block that kills all of the markers that I have down. So I just press it, and boop. I don't have to rely on /kill anymore. I can just have a command run for me, which is awesome. But anyways, it went extremely quickly and extremely smoothly, so I hope to have the others out in due time. But for now, well, thanks a lot for watching. Have a good day, y'all.